Hello guys, in this video we are going to discuss the solution of the problem nearest multiple of 10. So let us look at the problem statement. The problem statement says a string str is given to represent a positive number. The task is to round str to the nearest multiple of 10. If you have two multiples equally apart from str, choose the smallest element among them. So for instance, if str is 29, then we need to return 30, since 30 is the nearest multiple of 10 of 29. Similarly, if the string which is given to us is 15, then the nearest is 10 and 20 both, and since we have to choose the smallest in such case, because of which we are returning 10. So that's about the problem statement, folks. Now let us discuss the solution of this problem. So in order to discuss the solution of this problem, let us take an example. So let us say this is the string which is given to us. To solve this problem, what we are going to do is we are going to iterate on the string from the last index, and then we are going to compare the last index. Now with this comparison, there arises two cases. So the first case is when the last index element is less than or equals to 5. In such case, the answer will be essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it is just that we have to set this value to 0. So we are going to set this value to 0, and then we just have to simply return answer. So the first case is pretty much straightforward. Now let us discuss the second case, which is little bit tricky. So let us say this is the string which is given to us. As usual, we are going to iterate from the last element. Now since the last element is greater than 5, since the last element is greater than 5, what we are going to do is we are going to set this value to 0. So this value will be set to 0, and we are going to take a variable carry and we are going to set it to 1. This carry indicates that 1 needs to be added to subsequent digit, and that's exactly what we are going to do. So over here, then we will come to this index, and over here, since this value is equals to 1, so we need to increase this value by carry. So this value becomes equals to 20, and that is what we are going to return. So let us take another example. So let us say the str which is given to us is this. So as usual, what we are going to do is we are going to start from the last index, which is this. Now since this is 7, which is greater than 5, so what we are going to do is we are going to transform this and we are going to set it to 0. So this value will becomes equals to 0, and since we have made this as 0, because of which we are going to take carry and we are going to set it to 1. Now we'll go to the next element. The next element is 5 and carry is equals to 1. So this value needs to be increased by 1. So let us do that. So this becomes equals to 6, and since it does not lead to any carry, because of which the carry will be set to 0. Again, we are going to iterate on 2, and since over here the carry is equals to 0, because of which this value remains equals to 2. And the same thing goes for 1. And towards the end, this becomes our answer, and this is what we are going to return. Let's take one final example to understand one corner case. So let us say in this case the string which is given to us is this string. Now let us iterate from the last index. Since this value is greater than 5, what we are going to do is we are going to transform this to 0, and we are going to initialize our carry and we are going to set it to 1. Now let us move to the next element. Now since the next element is 9 and carry is equals to 1, so this will become equals to 0. And since 9 plus 1 equals to 10, so because of which there is a carry and this value remains 1. Now since we have exhausted all the elements of the string, so our loop will break. But since carry is equals to 1, because of which we have to add 1 towards the end. And in this way, this 99 will be transformed to 100, and this is what we are going to return. So that's the discussion of solution, folks. Now let us discuss the pseudocode of this problem. So let us say we want to round to nearest and a string is given to us. In such case, what we are going to do is we are going to take an answer and we are going to initialize it with an empty string. And let's take n also. So n is equals to len of string. And then all we have to do is we have to check whether string lies in case 1 or case 2. So for that, all we have to do is we have to check whether the last index of a string is less than or equals to 5. If it is less than or equals to 5, then it lies into first case. Let me go over here. It lies into first case, and in first case all we were doing is we were setting the last element to 0 and we were returning our answer. So let us do that. So in this case all we have to do is we have to set the last index to 0. So for that all we have to do is we have to take all the values from str except the last index, and since the last index has to be 0, so let us append 0 towards the end. If this is not the case, then we are in second case, and in the second case we have to have a carry as well. So let us do that. So let us set carry equals to 1. Let's have an iterating counter I, and let us set this value equals to n minus 1 towards the last index. Now since we know that the last index is greater than or equals to 5, because of which let us set the last index value equals to 0, and since we have operated on the last index, because of which let us decrease the value of I. After that let us iterate on the strings. So for that let us iterate on a string while I is greater than or equals to 0, and let us check if str of I equals to 9. If str of I equals to 9 and carry equals to 1, in such case we need to add 1 to 9, because of which it will become 10. So let us do that. So for in such case answer will be equals to 0 plus the answer we have computed so far, and carry will be equals to 1. If this is not the case, then in such case answer equals to int of stri plus carry, and then we will convert this back to string, and then we will suffix it with answer, and then let us set our carry equals to 0, since in this case there is no carry. And finally all we have to do is we have to decrease our I pointer by 1, and then towards the end we just have to check if carry, then in such case answer will be equals to 1 plus answer, and then let us just return answer. So let me explain this, folks. So this is our case 1, which is pretty much straightforward. There is nothing to explain over here. In the second case, and for the second case let us take an example. So let us say the string which is given to us is this 1, 2, 5 and 7. So the last index is greater than 5, because of which we came into else block. Now since this value has to be set to 0, for that what we have done is we have set our carry equals to 1, I towards the end of this string. So I is at this position, and then we have set our answer equals to 0. So let's have an answer over here. Initial value of answer is equals to 0, which corresponds to this value being set to 0, and then we have decreased our I. So now I is at this position, and then we are iterating on the rest of the elements of the string. So for the rest of the element of the string we are checking whether this element is equals to 9 or not. Since in this case this element is not equals to 9, so we came into else block. In the else block all we have to do is we have to add 1 to the current element. So let us add 1 to the current element. So this 5 becomes equals to 6, and our answer will be equals to this value, which is equals to 6 plus answer so far, and the answer so far is equals to 0. So our answer will be something like this, and carry, then we are setting it to 0, and then we are decreasing our ith counter. So let us decrease our ith counter, and we came to this position. Again on this position we are checking whether this is equals to 9. Since this is not equals to 9, so we just go ahead and perform this operation, which is equals to stri plus carry. Since in this case carry is equals to 0, so 2 remains as it is, because of which the answer will be updated by 2 plus answer so far. So this becomes equals to 260. Please note guys, this is string. And similarly the same thing will happen with 1, and then the answer will become equals to 1, 2, 6 and 0, and this is what we are going to return. Now let's take one more example. So let us say in this case the string which is given to us is 99. So for that we will be in else block. So we are over here, carry will be set to 1. So let's have our carry, and let us set this value to 1, and answer will be equals to 0, which simply indicates that this value has been transformed to 0. And after that, we are going to decrease our ith counter, so our I will be equals to here. And then since this value is equals to 9, so in this case this condition will be satisfied and carry is equals to 1, because of which answer will become equals to 0 plus answer. So this is essentially 0 plus answer so far is also 0, so because of which answer is equals to 0 and 0. And then this loop breaks, and because of this final condition, whether since carry exists, so carry remains 1 over here, because of which answer will be prefixed by 1. So this answer becomes equals to 100. So that's the discussion of pseudocode, folks. Now let us see how we have implemented this in Python and C++. So first let us look at the Python implementation. For this we have an answer, an empty string, and n equals to length of the string. If this is the first case, then in such case all we have to do is we have to set the last index to 0 and then we need to return answer. Otherwise, if this is case 2, then I equals to n minus 1, which simply means I is set to the last index of the string. Answer equals to 0 since the last index has to be transformed to 0, and carry equals to 1, and I then has been decreased to the second last element. Then we are iterating on I while I is greater than or equals to 0. If the ith character is equals to 9 and carry is equals to 1, in such case this 9 has to become equals to 0 and answer will be updated by 0 plus answer, and carry in this case becomes equals to 1. Otherwise answer will be equals to ith character plus carry, and then let us convert this into a string, and then let us suffix this by answer, and then carry will be set to 0 since in this case there is no carry, and we will decrease our I by 1. If carry exists towards the end, then 1 needs to be prefixed to the answer, and towards the end we are returning answer. So that's the Python implementation, folks. Now let us submit our solution. So our Python solution got accepted. Now let us look at the C++ implementation. So the C++ implementation is also the same, folks. Over here we have answer and length of the string. Then we are checking whether it belongs to first case. If this is first case, then the last character has to be set to 0. Otherwise, we have carry equals to 1, I equals to last index, and I minus minus, and the last index will be set to 0. So this is what we are doing it over here. Then we are iterating on the rest of the elements of the string, and we are checking whether the ith index is 9 and carry equals to 1. If that is the case, then answer will be equals to 0 plus answer and carry will be set to 1. Otherwise, we will take the ith character in next num, and if carry is equals to 1, then next num has to be increased by 1. So that is what we are doing it over here, and then answer is equals to next num plus answer, and in this case there is no carry, because of which we are setting carry equals to 0, and towards the end we are checking if carry exists after iteration, in which case 1 has to be prefixed to answer. So that is what we are doing it over here, and towards the end we are returning answer. So that's the C++ implementation, folks. Now let us submit our solution. So our C++ solution also got accepted. That is all from this video, folks. In case if you have any question or comment regarding this video, please feel free to use the comment section and I'll try to address them. Thank you.